Emmerdale's Jai Sharma becomes the latest character to react furiously over Graham Foster's shock return tonight. With tensions continuing to rise, can Graham ever expect a happy life in the village? Graham publicly revealed his back-from-the-dead bombshell at the Woolpack last week, much to the surprise of familiar faces like Charity Dingle, Ryan Stocks and Billy Fletcher. However, others who weren't in those scenes are still playing catch-up. In Monday's episode, Jai pays a visit to the cafe, and news of Graham's ominous reappearance is clearly playing on his mind. Of all the people you'd want resurrected, Graham? Jai complains, as Jimmy King takes his order at the cafe. Later, Jai gets his chance to vent in person when he sees Graham with Joe Tate outside. He reveals that he discovered the news when Gabby Thomas set up a group chat to gossip about Graham's return. Bringing up a past grudge, Jai reminds Graham, "You told Laurel about the drugs, cost me my relationship." Refusing to stand for any nonsense, Graham replies, "And she took you back, but you still screwed it up. Now, on your way." These scenes refer to the whodunit storyline, which led to Graham's grisly exit in January 2020. At the time, Jai was one of several suspects. Animosity between the two men flared up after Jai succumbed to temptation and started taking drugs again. While driving under the influence of cocaine, Jai accidentally crashed his car into Graham's. Disapproving, Graham confiscated Jai's car keys so that he couldn't get back behind the wheel. When Jai complained to Laurel about this, making himself out to be the victim, Graham retaliated by telling Laurel about her other half's devastating relapse. Laurel ended things with Jai, who immediately blamed Graham rather than himself. Jai subsequently vowed to make Graham pay, putting him in the mix of suspects who had an axe to grind. Although, of course, it was Pierce Harris who ultimately killed Graham in the story's conclusion. As Graham mentions tonight, this wasn't the end of Laurel and Jai, as their relationship didn't reach its final conclusion until their permanent split in 2024. The Woolpack had not felt right since the night Graham Foster walked back into it. There were pubs that thrived on gossip, on raised voices and clinking glasses, but the Woolpack had always carried something heavier beneath the laughter: memory. The walls had absorbed years of confessions, betrayals, and grudges that never truly faded. And now, with Graham alive, standing where he once should have been buried, that weight pressed down harder than ever. Word travelled fast in Emmerdale. Faster than cars on the narrow lanes, faster than secrets could be buried. By the time Monday morning arrived, Graham's return had already been dissected, exaggerated, and reshaped into something almost mythical. Back from the dead. A ghost with a pulse. A man who should not be here. Jai Sharma had heard the news the same way he heard most things these days. Accidentally, and with a jolt that tightened his chest. He stood outside the cafe longer than necessary, staring through the window as if the answer might be written somewhere between the menu board and the counter. His phone buzzed again in his pocket. A group chat notification he hadn't bothered opening. He didn't need to. He already knew what it would say. Graham Foster. Alive. Jai scoffed under his breath and pushed the door open. The warmth of the cafe hit him first, followed by the familiar smells of coffee and frying bacon. Jimmy King was behind the counter, cheerful as ever, scribbling orders and humming tunelessly. Normality, pretending nothing earth-shattering had happened. "Morning," Jimmy said brightly. "What can I get you?" Jai didn't answer straight away. His jaw was tight, his thoughts louder than the clatter of cups. "Of all the people you'd want resurrected," he muttered finally, "Graham." Jimmy paused, pen hovering midair. "Yeah, still can't quite believe it myself." "Unbelievable," Jai repeated, shaking his head. "Man's got more lives than a soap villain." Jimmy offered an awkward chuckle, clearly sensing there was more beneath the sarcasm. "Coffee. Strong," Jai said. "Very strong." He took a seat by the window, arms folded, watching villagers pass by outside. Every familiar face seemed changed now, as if Graham's return had tilted the village off its axis. Jai's mind refused to settle, dragged back again and again to a version of himself he hated remembering. Drugs. Lies. Laurel. And Graham, standing at the center of it all, smug and disapproving. He'd found out officially the night before, not from Charity or Billy or Ryan, but from Gabby Thomas, who had apparently decided that a group chat titled, "You'll Never Guess Who's Alive," was an appropriate way to deliver life-altering news. Jai had stared at the message for a long time, convinced it was a joke. It hadn't been. Later that day, fate, or something more malicious, gave him exactly what he didn't want. Graham Foster stood outside Home Farm with Joe Tate, his posture relaxed, expression unreadable. He looked irritatingly solid for someone who had once been mourned, accused, and supposedly murdered. Jai stopped in his tracks. For a moment, neither man noticed him. Then Graham looked up, eyes sharp, assessing. Recognition flickered, followed by something that looked dangerously close to amusement. "Well," Graham said calmly, "if it isn't Jai Sharma." Jai felt heat rise in his chest. "You've got some nerve showing your face around here." Joe Tate shifted uncomfortably, sensing unfinished business. "I'll leave you two to it," he murmured, stepping away. Jai didn't take his eyes off Graham. "Do you know how I found out you were alive?" Gabby set up a group chat. "A group chat, Graham?" Graham smirked. "Modern times." Jai laughed bitterly. "You think this is funny?" "I think," Graham replied evenly, "that you're reacting exactly how I expected." "That did it." "You told Laurel about the drugs," Jai snapped. "Cost me my relationship." The words spilled out faster than he intended. Years of resentment sharpened into accusation. Graham didn't flinch. "And she took you back," he said. "But you still screwed it up. Now, on your way." The dismissal stung more than the argument. Jai clenched his fists. For a split second, he imagined lashing out, imagined the satisfaction of watching Graham finally fall. But the past had taught him where impulse led. "People don't forget," Jai said quietly. Graham met his gaze, unblinking. "Neither do I." As Jai walked away, memories surged uninvited. The relapse had crept up on him, subtle at first. One bad day. One excuse. One line. Before long, the control he'd sworn he had slipped through his fingers. The night of the crash replayed endlessly in his mind. The cocaine still buzzing in his veins, the sickening impact as his car collided with Graham's. Graham had confiscated his keys without shouting, without drama. Just cold disappointment. It had infuriated Jai more than anger ever could. When Graham told Laurel the truth, Jai had convinced himself it was betrayal. He'd painted himself as the victim, refused to face what he'd done. Losing Laurel had broken something in him. Blaming Graham had been easier than blaming himself. That hatred had placed him squarely among the suspects when Graham was supposedly killed back in 2020. Jai remembered the looks, the whispers, the way the village had judged him. Even after Pierce Harris was revealed as the true culprit, the damage lingered. And now Graham was back. Alive. The village buzzed with tension as days passed. Every interaction felt charged, every glance loaded. Graham tried to slot back into Emmerdale life, but happiness remained elusive. People either stared too long or avoided him altogether. A man returned from the dead had no easy place among the living. For Jai, the anger softened into something more complicated. Regret. By the time he passed the cafe again later that week, he stopped outside, watching his reflection in the glass. Older. Wiser, maybe. Still haunted. Graham might never have a happy life in Emmerdale. But neither would Jai, if he kept letting the past dictate his future. As the village settled into uneasy acceptance, one thing was clear. Graham Foster's return had reopened wounds no one had truly healed from. And Emmerdale would never be the same again.